You know, because they have a say in the APC. Once you join APC, whatever are your sins, you will be forgiven. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you want our sins to be forgiven so we can join APC? No! Do you want us to continue to work with the coalition? Yes! Here. Yes. What they've got to realize is that I cannot be intimidated. I cannot be blackmailed. And no one can tarnish my record.
Senator Aminu Tambuwal talking about his experience with the EFCC to a rousing crowd in Sokoto State, where he returned after being released by the EFCC. And the greatest takeaway from his statement, of course we'll see the rest of that in a moment, he said that he will not be intimidated. Yes, clear conscience fears no accusation. He also used the word that P2B is known for, go and verify, that he's challenging anyone on his records that they should do whatever they want to do. If he's not sure of himself, he won't be saying this. He will even lie low or maybe start negotiating to join APC. Like others do. Once they join APC, their case is forgotten. No one will talk about them anymore. You see, once the government starts going after opposition members using the EFCC or the police, they have one ready-made narrative to shut you down once you talk about it. You hear narratives like, these are the people talking about good governance. These are the people opposing APC and Tinubu. But here we are, they are supporting corrupt politicians. Why would any Nigerian patriot be against probing corrupt politicians? You hear these narratives, but there is no justification for EFCC to start probing Emeka Ihedioha, someone who left office 5 years ago. He only spent 7 months in power, and they are now requesting from the Imo State government or the civil service to furnish them with all the documents. His 7 months in office, they want all the documents released to them so that they will start digging to see where they will use to intimidate him and invite him, hey, come and explain this expenditure, come and do this, come and do that. They are deceiving themselves, not Nigerians. Yes, EFCC cannot probe the Minister of State for Defense, Matawale, who is being accused of misappropriating or stealing more than 500 billion naira. They have not even questioned him. They have not invited him, not to talk of opening an investigation against him. He's a minister. If they could invite Senator Aminu Tambuwal, why not a minister? In political hierarchy, a senator is higher than a minister because a senator is elected while a minister is appointed. So why have they not been able to invite him or at least show that they are doing something about his corruption? The answer is very simple. It is simply because he is a member of APC. Anyone that joins APC, all his sins are forgotten. Just like the former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, he joined APC and nobody, including the EFCC that first invited him to question him about the more than 1 trillion naira misappropriation fraud he committed, they said he committed, but no one is talking anything about that case anymore. He has been forgotten simply because he joined APC. Are we going to talk about Ganduje? They won't even spend up to 1 week preparing the files to charge him to court because the evidence is there. He was caught on video stuffing lots of dollars in his babariga, being contract kickback from over-invoicing. He robbed Kano State people blind, but they won't charge him to court because he's a member of APC. Are we going to talk about Senator Godswill Akpabio's corruption case dating back to when he was governor of Akwa Ibom State? Remember the billions of naira he was accused of misappropriating by the EFCC? Because of that, he decamped to APC and suddenly they stopped talking about it. Also, his 3-year tenure as the chairman of NDDC under Muhammadu Buhari's administration didn't end without a corruption case. He was accused of misappropriating more than 40 billion naira when he was chairman of the NDDC. So all these cases are there. Even as recent as 2023, the EFCC invited Senator Godswill Akpabio, but it didn't materialize because the then chairman of EFCC, Bawa, was eventually removed from office and replaced by this current chairman. Since then, no further invitation for Akpabio and other corrupt individuals in APC. Now they are trying to justify inviting or probing someone who spent only 7 months in power. Can you imagine the waste of time? Why are you wasting resources, scarce resources and time they should have spent going after people who stole billions? Yes. There are many cases that should be easy for them to probe at this time. They wouldn't even need to spend up to 1 week assembling the cases to go to court. Yes, there are many of them. Evidence is there. They don't want to do them because they are partisan, but they will try to justify going after people because they are in opposition. They are only deceiving themselves. Nigerians are not deceived. Nigerians must know that the reason they weaponize state institutions against the opposition is because they have nothing to offer. They do this because they don't want the opposition to exist in the first place. They are aware that they cannot win a free and fair election. That's why they are fighting the opposition. And unless Nigerians allow them, they are afraid of you. This is a sign that they are panicking. Otherwise, they wouldn't even have time for all this. They will allow their works to speak for them. That's how it should work. Whenever a government is working, whether at the state level, local government level, or at the federal level, Nigerians feel it. They experience it. You don't need anyone to tell you this person is working, the government is working, that governor is doing well, this local government chairman is doing well. No, you will feel it once you are in the environment. If it is happening in your state, you drive around your state, you will see nice roads. You will see drainages. You will see everything glittering. If it's happening in your local government, you move around your local government, you will feel it. Likewise, if the federal government is doing well, you will feel it in your pocket because the federal government determines the price of goods. That's the reality. Their policies determine inflation. Whether what you bought 10,000 naira last year will still return the same price today or be up to 15,000 naira. This is the reality. Unfortunately, most Nigerians can't make that simple connection that the reason why they are poor is because of failed policies of politicians in power. If they're able to make that connection, then when it's election time, you wouldn't waste your time telling people to vote right because they can't vote for people who impoverish them. It's as simple as that. It's like voting to be killed. So it's not a matter of people saying, take money from them. After all, they stole this money. The money belongs to us. But you are empowering them. By taking that money, you're already partaking in the stealing because you took a share from the money they stole. So you're part of the stealing. And by empowering them or voting for them, you are not teaching them a lesson they need to learn. Because if you empower someone who knows that he didn't do the right things, he didn't change the system that he met, in fact, only himself changed because he was able to steal more money and you reward him with another vote, then he's going to do worse in the future. So your responsibility as a citizen is to hold politicians accountable. Holding them accountable doesn't include taking money from them to vote for them during an election. Even if you don't end up voting for them, you don't have to take money from them. Make it clear to them that I cannot take this money. This money is stolen money and it belongs to Nigerian people. Instead of giving us this money, why not use it to work for us so that we'll see what you did and now vote for you because of the work, instead of coming to give us money. If many Nigerians have this kind of posture, Nigerian politicians will change. But the best part is to vote for nice people, not people who will deceive you, or people who will go there and decamp to another party or change immediately they get to power. Now, let's hear the rest of what Tambuwal said in the homecoming reception in Sokoto.
I was first invited by the EFCC and I went there voluntarily on my own volition, without being coerced, without being forced, on the 6th of August. That was my first visit to the EFCC. I was interviewed, I was interrogated, and sometimes they let me go back home with a view of coming back on Monday, the 10th, 11th of August. I went back after hours of interview and interrogation. I requested that I should be allowed to go back home as did the last time, so that we can take another date for us to continue with the interview and interrogation. I was told by the operatives interviewing me that I need to get someone or some people to take me on bail. I told them to go back and tell the chairman of the EFCC that I am Tambuwal, our speaker of the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for 4 years. With an unblemished record. And I served the people of Sokoto State for uninterrupted years of 8 years. And that now I am serving senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I should be allowed on my personal recognition. More so, I am the holder of the honors of the Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. When the president came back to say that no, the chairman had declined, that I must get 2 directors from Federal Civil Service and some other conditions for me to be granted bail. I should get them as my sureties. And this was around 5-6 p.m. And they have to get letter of introduction from their employers. My lawyers, 3 senior advocates of Nigeria were with me. They appealed and appealed and appealed that the conditions of bail be varied, that liberal conditions be given. They refused, and I had to be taken to cell M23, where I rested till the following morning. Of course, we were able, by the grace of God, your prayers, to get and meet the conditions of bail, and I was allowed to go yesterday. Now, why now? Why at this moment?